Hello, everyone, and welcome. It looks like we are live. Welcome to the Hypnosis Hero program. I feel like we're missing something here. Hold on one second. I think okay, good. It looks like everything's good. Okay, welcome to the show. Welcome to Hypnosis Hero. You know why you're here. You want to get hypnotized through the screen, don't you? Look into my eyes. That's right. We're here every week. Yes, every week now, because we've had so many people want to get on the show. We've had to go back to weekly, and we'll keep that up as long as possible. So here we are. We are Hypnosis Hero. Every week, we bring on a guest hypnotist. We interview them, find out how awesome they are. We talk about any books or products they have, and then they hypnotize you through the screen. Yes. Tonight will be no different. Our special guest tonight, our guest Hypnosis Hero, is Kryssa Bowman. I may have mispronounced her name, but we'll find out shortly. And of course, in between all of that, we're going to talk to Brian Bay, see what kind of hijinks he's been up to this week. We'll talk to Shawn Kostiuk, the captain, get our tech tip for the week. I don't know why I sound so radio-y today. Let me just be regular for a minute. We're also going to find out. The answer to the very important question. If you're a longtime listener, you know what that is. And we'll also do product spotlight, where I'll talk about some of my favorite things out there in the world that I think you might like. First up tonight, everybody, bringing him in, Brian Bay. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Oh. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
It's going, man. There's so much going on in the world today that I don't know. Sometimes you just kind of are at a loss for words, but
you sound like how I felt earlier. I had to actually cancel a hypnotherapy appointment because I had a huge headache and actually thought I wasn't going to be able to do the show tonight. But fortunately, modern pharmaceuticals helped out. So I'm actually feeling a little bit better. And plus, I don't know what it is, but every time when I press go live, I don't know, things just magically go away and I feel better. So, Brian, I see you're wearing...
That's how the Lord works.
That's how the Lord works?
Yeah.
I see you're wearing a hockey jersey. Is that what that is?
So, yes. Brian, hold on a second. Okay.
Of course, don't let us get in your way. Don't let us interrupt your TV viewing.
No, I'm on the laptop looking straight ahead. That's got the webcam.
Yeah.
Then on one screen, I've got YouTube. And then the next top screen, I've got the Facebook Live. So I can actually go through comments and respond as me instead of getting powers from the great Shawn and responding as you.
Okay, fantastic. We got a few people to say hello to. Scott, welcome to the show, or welcome. Thank you for joining us. Felicia Brody, hello. That is, if I'm correct, that is the great Michael Brody's sister, Felicia. Good to see you. She's the young and pretty one, not like that crusty old.
Careful, family
Michael
show.
Scott likes my radio voice.
When I become the voice of reason, we're in trouble.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, exactly, Scott. It is kind of like when you walk on stage, everything gets better. You know, I'll be so nervous, frustrated, everything, and then as soon as I step on, the moment I step on stage, boom, everything else just disappears, and we're on the stage. So, Brian, is there a special game going on tonight or something? Is that why you're?
No, there was a special game that went on Saturday.
Okay.
So the Silver Tips, pretty much everywhere in the WHL, and a lot of American Hockey Leagues. I don't think the NHL does it, but a lot of organizations or a lot of leagues around each organization will do what's known as a teddy bear toss game. So the home team, whenever they score their first goal, all of the fans, they preferably throw a stuffed animal as, in a plastic bag or something so it doesn't get wet.
Sure.
Rain down stuffed animals onto the ice, and then they take the stuffed animals, distribute them out to first responders to give to kids when, there's a fire, there's a tragedy, mom or dad gets arrested, there's some sort of critical event that occurs. There's a little, consolation prize, if you will.
That's
Kind of
nice.
makes the kids, allows them to establish rapport, and it goes for a good cause. And of course, the Everett Silvertips were playing the Seattle Thunderbirds with their I-5 rivalry, and it wasn't quite a shellacking that we have seen in Ghosts of Christmas Past, but a 4-1 victory, I'll take it.
Is it true that by wearing that hockey jersey that you are somehow trying to taunt our other co-host, who is of course Canadian, and it is their national sport?
No, not at all.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I like Shawn.
I don't have any brawls on here or anything.
No.
Speaking of snow sports, we got Casey Cox Pico watching from Vail. Good to see you.
We're gonna be looking forward to seeing her. And Casey is the morale officer going to be joining you in Las Vegas in January. We'd love to see Brewster again.
We definitely. We started that in Miami with the Rats. Okay. Is that
the Florida Panthers?
Ah, okay. Why does she call them the Rats? I don't know.
So, there's basically like the rubber rats, I guess, because Panthers have, they chase mice and everything, and so it wouldn't be surprising if they play Boston, kind of on the Eastern Conference, and Brad Marchand his nickname is the Rat. He's kind of like a dirty player, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did something to piss them off. And they were like, we're going to throw rats at him, but don't quote me on that. That's not gospel.
Well, it does sound like a nice cause instead of the olden days when we just told the kids to suck it up.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising is here. Good to see you. Joining us. Are you also over on TikTok, Phoenix? She's very active. Go follow her if you're on TikTok or YouTube. Fearlessly Phoenix, another hypnotist, and go follow KC and Scott King. So we threw rats on the ice. There were rats in the rink space, and it turned into a scene. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's some each. I think in Detroit, back in Joe Louis Arena, somebody would eventually, like if it was a hat trick or something, they'd end up throwing an octopus on the ice. I remember way back when. Before the Silvertips, we're probably talking 25 years ago. They would play in what's now Climate Pledge Arena, which used to be Key Arena before Seattle had an NHL team. And so right there at the Pike Place Market, someone would go and grab a big salmon and throw it out on the ice and promptly get thrown out.
Hey, speaking of getting thrown out, let's throw this out there. Hey, Becca, nice to see you. Tommy, nice to see you. If you haven't grabbed this book yet, go get it. Your Life Sucks. Here's how to fix it. Your life doesn't have to suck to get something out of this. A lot of great tips in there from a born-again loser. I will tell you, I spent a lot of years doing nothing with my life. Finally started doing something. Kind of a funny look on personal development, so go check that out, everybody. Your Life Sucks. Here's how to fix it. If you've got the book, please go do a review. They help so much. Brian, it is time to bring on the captain, to bring him up from the basement. Let's see if we can get him up here. There he is. Shawn Kostiuk, the captain.
Back in the day, Brian, in the day, as an Edmonton Oilers fan, we would just cheer because we were always scoring.
That's the Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier era.
Yep. In fact, I used to have a signed 6x8 picture of Wayne Gretzky when he was pitching for GWG jeans. And they weren't named GWG for the great Wayne Gretzky. It was actually a brand of jeans. They don't exist anymore. Neither do the pictures, thanks to my brother. So otherwise, they'd be worth a few, $1,000 for sure.
And honestly, I feel bad for Connor McDavid because they cannot buy a Stanley Cup victory or a championship. And it's not that Connor McDavid's this golden child or anything like that. I've met a handful of guys that have gone to Oilers training camp and who have had the chance to meet him, and they're like, he's set for life. Once he retires, he will never work again. And, easily a multi-millionaire before, he turned 18, and, just the most humble guy, just full of class and humble and not a big ego.
Yeah, no, 100%. What a lot of people don't know is that St. Louis almost lost their hockey team. The Blues almost wound up playing in a city called Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Missed it by that much.
So
Wow.
the Saskatoon Blades, are they in the WHL or are they?
They are indeed in the WHL.
Okay, yeah.
And I do have two of their original jerseys, which of course do look like St. Louis Blues jerseys. So during the intermission, I'll go dig mine out.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Scott King makes an excellent point. He says and why does Scott always have to make these points? Why haven't you guys thought about this before? We don't bring him from the basement. We beam him from the bridge.
That's right. I step onto the bridge for my ready room.
His ready room. Exactly. Scott King
wearing those Clark Kent sunglasses, ready to be Superman if he needs to.
Yeah. Here, you want product placement?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get this in the camera.
Are they paying us?
Cisco Meraki.
Meraki. Hashtag Meraki. Send us some checks.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Scott King.
They make a lot of money though.
All right. Scott King, always the one with the best comments. Guys, we're getting a tech tip from Shawn Kostiuk, the captain. What do you got for us, Shawn?
Yeah. So we know that in the news yet again, Brian was talking about how nuts it is out there in the world. And it's not just the hockey fans. The politicians are also kind of nuts. But the potential ban of TikTok in the U.S. So my tech tip for today is make sure you have an off-site backup. And that could be, make sure I don't rip anything out here, as simple as one of these little hard drives.
Oh.
Okay. Excuse me. And the reason for the off-site, the off-grid, is if we happen to lose service, you still have your stuff. And it's not stuck in somebody else's cloud.
Okay.
So that is the tech tip. Make sure you have what you own backed up.
Yeah.
Because it is technically yours.
Nice.
And if you're in Canada and you're tired of Trudeau, like you guys had your golden opportunity to get rid of him today. And there's another
vote coming up.
I would say not for Pierre's lack of effort. He is absolutely crushing it.
Becca says, is it just for the U.S.? Yes, Becca, it is just for the U.S. at this time. I have a feeling, though, that something will happen. It'll stick around. But before we get too far off topic, I want to bring on our guest. She's waiting patiently backstage, ready to hypnotize you people after she tells us how awesome she is, after she answers the most important question that she's ever been asked in her life, after we do product spotlight. Of course, she's going to do a wonderful hypnosis session. And I do want to remind everybody, we kind of got in a place where hypnosis wasn't necessarily happening every time, or it was, kind of maybe just a really short couple-minute thing. We're committed to making it happen. If the guest does not provide you with some hypnosis, these three heroes right here will do it, or one or more of us. But I already know Chris is going to do some hypnosis. She's excited to do some hypnosis. So we've got Casey says, thanks for not keeping her in the basement. That's right. We're going to bring her out.
See, now you change one word in that sentence and it becomes a whole new meaning.
For not keeping her in the... I'm not sure where you're going with that. And I don't want to know. So we're going to move on from that.
You put your coat in the...
closet? Okay. Seems for keeping her in the closet. Okay. I'm not sure. Anyway. So,
Scott's giggling already. I can hear him
I don't.
all the way in Texas.
Is he making fun of our haircut again, Jim?
No,
Is that what he's
not
doing?
at all.
Okay. Damn good. Damn right. We put a hex on him. All right. So, Kryssa has, she's a publisher, author, and founder of Quantum Journeys Hypnosis. She's pioneered multidimensional consciousness, which we'll dive into. We'll find out more about that. Based hypnotherapy with an academic background in applied psychology. She integrates quantum, what is it called? Hold on. Quantum theory, the science of consciousness, and clinical hypnosis techniques, creating methods that foster deep personal change. Her methods have been featured internationally, and she's inspired practitioners and clients through global workshops and seminars. Honestly, she doesn't look old enough to have done all of this. Everybody, please welcome Kryssa Bowman to the show. Kryssa.
Welcome, Kryssa.
Thank you. It was getting cold in that basement closet.
Sorry about that.
All right,
Shawn,
I'm in trouble.
Shawn, why don't you pick up a shawl we can keep in there for people? All right.
Yeah, seriously. And get rid of the chains, please. Wait.
So blankets is what we want. We want big fluffy blankets, maybe
Okay.
a bear to cuddle.
Okay. All right. Are we butchering your name, Kryssa? I know I've asked
Yeah,
before.
you got it.
Oh.
It's phonetically Kryssa. Yep, you got it.
Kryssa. All right. Fantastic. Jen Pearson says, yay, Kryssa. Or Kryssa, yay.
Jen.
Nice.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Casey. Hi, Becca. So nice to see everyone. And Scott.
Yeah.
I'm actually watching you on TikTok too, or watching me, all of us on TikTok.
Shawn, how are we doing on TikTok? People loving us?
Of course, people are loving us. We have people that are on 2 different platforms loving us.
Wow.
So, Kryssa, here's the cool thing: is you stare into the camera for the webcam, and then make like a hand gesture, and then look off to one of your other screens, and it'll be like 2, 3, and then you'll see yourself move.
Oh yeah. Because
there is a couple second delay.
Yeah. I run a lot of these kinds of things too. So yeah, I've gotten accustomed to that. I'm not used to not mirroring though. So that's got me thrown off. I feel a little off kilter seeing myself in a not mirror image.
Bottom of the screen, hit the settings, and it'll pop up a window and it'll say mirror.
I did. And Shawn and I were talking about that. And because of the book that we're going to talk about later, I figured I should go ahead and keep it unmirrored so that the audience can read it frontwards. But now I have to watch myself backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards to me.
Right.
Hi, Terry. Good to see you too.
Lots of fans. Lots of fans here tonight. That's good to see. Kryssa, do you want to just dive in and explain to us what you mean by Quantum Journeys Hypnosis?
Yeah. So do you want the origins or just like what it is?
I want you know what? Great point. Let's hear the origins too.
Yeah, because the origins are kind of woo-woo, honestly.
Okay.
But, so I started off with regression to cause hypnotherapy, which I quickly learned was not enough for my toolbox. And so I started to delve into other things, went into clinical hypnotherapy, MMHA, and, all different kinds of stuff, IACT, IHA. So throughout all of this, I started to have some experiences of my own when I would go into self-hypnosis. So it was like meditation, self-hypnosis, but I found myself actually sort of traveling to other places, including other lifetimes. And I didn't realize really what was happening. I kind of was like, oh, maybe that's a past life, but it wasn't really clear. It was just sort of like, well, that's interesting. I seem to be this priestess in a Lemurian monastery, and I'm apparently doing trance work here.
This makes the like Matrix themed background like fit in beautifully tonight.
So I'm going to just fast forward to like, there's a few things that happened in between, but I did in fact have a session where I was able to, somebody else facilitated the session and was able to actually take me to that lifetime so I could understand a little bit more what was going on. And I was like, my thought at the time, and kind of still is like, maybe it is a lot past life and maybe it's not. Either way, my subconscious mind seems to want to explore this, and I'm not going to say no. Because what would be the purpose in that, right? So I explored it, and while I was there, releasing some, stuff that I had going on as far as fear of putting myself in the spotlight. I had a fear of, basically being persecuted, and I found out that it kind of started in that life, but there's been others. While I was there, I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing the same work there that I do here. It's very similar. I'm putting these women, these priestesses, into a trance state, and they go into a cave, and they have like this vision quest for several days. And then one of my students, who is a colleague of ours, had a session. She didn't know anything about this, had a session where she was there too. And then another one. 3 of us now that all remembered each other from this same lifetime, but we'd never actually met in person. And the other 2 didn't know each other. They just knew of each other. So while I was there, I was like, since I'm doing the same kind of work, can I bring that forth into this lifetime? Like, why do a past life just to release trauma? That's kind of boring. Everybody does that, right? How about if I bring some of the skills and the wisdom that I had now? And I very distinctly heard and felt my highest self saying, like, yes, she finally got it. Like, we don't have to start over from square one again. Yes, you can. And I don't know what happened. It's not like a flip was switched. It's just that the way I liken it is like, how in superhero movies, when the superhero gets their powers, but they don't know they have their powers until something happens, and they're like, suddenly they can lift a car, and they're like, oh, how did I do that? It was like that, where I would be in a session and I would be like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I have the tools for this. Am I going to be good enough? I'd have all the anxiety, the imposter syndrome, and something would just come through me, and bam, it would flow. And suddenly I had information and knowledge that I wasn't even sure how I acquired. And in the span of like 3 months, I developed the entire Quantum Journeys hypnosis protocol, but it took 6 months to teach the classes. But I was just using it on my clients. So I was like using it on my clients. And then I was like, hey, I think other people might want to know how to do this. So I taught one class on just how to do the deep trance part. Then I taught another class on how to do other lifetimes, and another one on Akashic records, and another one on quantum jumping. And pretty soon the whole thing tied together. And I borrowed one element from Stephanie Conkle for the induction. And then I borrowed another element from David Quigley for the Temple of Healing. And I always give, credit to whoever I borrow things from. But it all just came together. And as I was just teaching a few people here and there, it turned into a whole course. And some of the students were like, hey, I think you should put all of these classes together into one thing. And so I went to International Hypnosis Association and applied. And they said, well, you're going to have to do, history of hypnosis and the foundational basics, and make sure that people who are just starting off and haven't had any previous experience can jump in and do this too. So I did all that. But, I laugh about this a lot, but I have a neurospicy brain, a little ADHD. And so like when I dive in, I go down the rabbit hole hard, and I did. And I did not like emerge again until this whole thing was done. And it didn't I forgot to eat. I forgot all kinds of things like left and right. I was just doing Quantum Journeys hypnosis, and that was it. And then it was done. And I was like, oh, I think I can breathe again. But at no point was I even exhausted by it. It was just, I kept getting like, I want channeled information or something. So on
that note, we've got a wonderful question. Fearlessly Phoenixing asks, did you find that your ability to fully go down the rabbit hole did you need a facilitator, or were you able to do it just by yourself?
Both. I have my own hypnotherapist, actually. And I'll plug her here, Stephanie Conkle. We trade sessions from time to time. And I've had other people too that would help out. I had one that I accidentally channeled my highest self for the very first time with, and it freaked her out so much that she didn't speak to me anymore after that. Yeah, because apparently my voice changed, and the way I was speaking changed, and my name, I called myself by a different name. It was E-L, just E-L. And and that she's from the Middle East, and it just really freaked her out. She was like, I don't want anything more to do with you. And I was really sad. But so it was both.
Your eyes just went all black. Head spun around a couple times.
Well, L in the Middle East, L is typically, like, if it's EL, typically means light.
Oh, well, I don't know why that would scare her then. And here's my basic philosophy on all this. Like, if I was hearing voices or channeling messages that were telling me horrible things that made me feel bad, or like bad things about others, I would obviously have a lot of doubt and question that and go like, oh my gosh, is this good? Is this safe? Is this whatever? And I did have a lot of self-doubt for a while there. I recently kind of just given up on all that, because everything that I've received has been really, really positive. And has up-leveled my ability to do what I do, like, exponentially. And I still learn, but here's the interesting thing. I don't seek out things to learn as if I must have this other tool like I did before. Like, I don't know enough, I gotta get more, Now I just let whatever sparks my interest kind of drive me to the next thing. And for a while, it was just pure science fiction books that had nothing to do with hypnosis or quantum theory or whatever. But I learned more from those 6 months of just reading pure science fiction books than I have in like several of my hypnotherapy courses. So I just lean into the joy, and I find the information comes to me wherever.
Wow.
So
now Becca's over in the United Kingdom, and she's asking if you do any stage hypnosis.
I did one kind of once, and I actually talked to Jim about this a long time ago. Do you remember me reaching out to you about it? It was just like a corporate event, and it was small. It was a couple of years ago. It went well, but I don't know that that's really that's not my passion, Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even with hypnotherapy, I'm very picky about who I take on. Like, there's certain things that really spark joy in me, and like that's where I feel like I can do the best work, right? And if somebody's like dragging me into a quitting smoking session when I don't want to work with people that are quitting smoking, I would rather refer them on to somebody who actually gets lit up by that, because I don't lit up. I didn't mean that was kind of a oops. Lit up.
I see what you did there. That's... And then we were asking before, fearlessly phoenixing. She was asking, but were you able to fully experience and exhaust the understanding so that you could bring to its full, something moving?
I'm always evolving. It's always evolving. There's live components to it, so it's always getting better. And I would like to think that's the case with everything. So like, yes, it is a full course now. People who are finding it now, I trust this is the version of the course that they are meant to find now. I'm also redoing aspects of it, mainly because in the past, 2022 is when it first came out. There's about 200 students in it now. And there's things that I've learned in the past 2 years just from doing it, right? And also from the students and graduates that now I want to add into the course. And so it's going to be slightly evolving and changing over time and growing over time. And so the students who find it 5 years from now will be the ones who are meant to find that version of it.
That makes sense.
I'm not a finished product. Are you? Is anybody?
Jim's just pretty as he is.
I am.
Yes. Super.
KC says, what does KC say? It's spectacular. I use it all the time.
Oh, yeah. She's one of my graduates. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Glad to hear it. We love KC, of course. Fearlessly Phoenix got a lot of questions. Kryssa, where do you live?
I currently live in Wilmington, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
I did live in Bozeman, Montana for about 30 years. And then I moved here a year and a half ago. I needed to not have winter for a little while.
Oh, I hear that.
Refresh my memory. How far are you from Fayetteville, Fort Bragg area?
Like an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah, not too terribly far.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you've created this program. Tell us about now the book. I'll talk about it more in detail when we do product spotlight. But there's a look at it, everybody. Real nice cover. Quantum Journeys.
Yeah, I've got it here too.
So you got one? Yeah, you want to show us yours? Show us yours. Yeah, good. So this was an anthology that you put together. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's myself and 18 of the students and graduates of Quantum Journeys Hypnosis Academy. And it's just client session stories and case studies from each of us. And like pretty phenomenal stuff. I mean, there's things that start off really mundane. Like, for example, there was a woman who just wanted to lose some weight. That's a pretty standard thing that we do, right? While we're going through her session, we discover that she has a tiny entity attached to her that she, while she's in a trance state, realizes that it was the baby of a miscarried baby that she had never properly grieved, and it stuck around, like the spirit or the soul or the energy or the consciousness of it stuck around to help her because it didn't want her to be so sad. And her body was responding to this by not losing even a single pound beyond the weight that she was the day she miscarried. And even if she would lose weight, she would bounce right back up. And it kept happening until she's the one. Now, again, I'm going to say maybe it's all a metaphor for her subconscious. That's valid. Okay. But when she addressed it this way and gave it the love, and it forgave her for the miscarriage, and she realized, and it told her that it needed to leave because the heart, the physical heart in that baby's body, was not strong enough to support it, and that it was going to come back anyway, from it, and with a different family member, but that it was going to be a part of her life. And so when all of this happened, she was finally able to release all of the guilt and the shame that she'd been carrying, and she was able to properly grieve, and then she was able to lose the weight.
Wow.
It had nothing to do with dieting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's just one of the stories. There's a lot like that. So many stories like that, like just really off the charts, really like Akashic records, readings, and all kinds of things. So lots of lifetimes.
Now you mentioned the past life stuff. Have you ever, by chance, have you read Spooked?
I have not.
Oh, okay. It's an interesting talk about the afterlife and things like that, and she goes into some stories about past life experiences, and I found it really pretty interesting.
When I started having them myself, and then my clients sort of would like I was doing some regression therapy, and they would spontaneously go into other lifetimes, not just past, by the way, also parallel, we discovered, and one future. So I do teach that in the class because it could happen. It's only happened, actually, no, it's happened twice now. But I didn't really, I mean, I was raised pretty new age. You know, my mom was kind of a hippie. We lived on and around this like commune for the first like 9 years of my life in Western North Carolina. Anyway, so it wasn't like it was foreign to me, but it just wasn't a thing that I was expecting to have happen in my sessions. So when that started happening, I went out and actually started reading about it, like the Michael Newton books and the Dolores Cannon books and things like that. But prior to that, I never read Spooked. Again, like I love science fiction, but I didn't typically read, nonfiction. So.
Yeah.
And Becca is a fan of your hair a lot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's not, it didn't used to be this curly, and then I moved to the East Coast. So.
Yeah, humidity.
Cold weather has a way of straightening things out.
In Montana, I used to actually be able to wear it straight, but that ship has sailed. I can't do that anymore. Thank you, Becca.
What do you like? What do you like better? Do you like working with clients or teaching more, or is it tough to say?
I like both. I've slowed down a bit on, well, no, actually, no, I'm starting to pick up again. I did slow down a bit on taking on clients for a little while. I was going through some of my own stuff, some personal family things, dark night of the soul stuff. I think we all need to go through that and not pretend like life is always hunky-dory. Just lean into it, move through it. And I did. Now I'm on the other side. It felt like it was disingenuous for me to be helping other people when I wasn't feeling helpful, like energetically. And I'm not good at faking it. I'm just not that. I'm not the fake it till you, I just can't do it. I suck at it. So I stopped for a while, really slowed down anyway, and just had like the same kind of clients that I'd had for a while that I knew really well, but I wasn't taking new ones. But now I am again. And I like both. I don't think I could teach every day. But I seem to be able to do sessions every day as long as I'm not going through like what I was, October. Last September and October was rough, just family stuff. But anyway, so yeah, it's both. Like, I don't know. I like both. And I have so many other things too. Like I love writing. I love gardening. I hope one day to have a little homestead with some chickens and goats and stuff too. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So Kryssa, do you find that you experience a lot of similar things like that normal therapists and counselors would experience, where when you're doing the more therapeutic side, where people are coming to you and just dumping their problems on you, and you're just like, God, there's only so much like energy capacity where you're just like, all right, I'm exhausted.
That is precisely why I didn't do anything with my original, academic stuff in applied psychology. Well, initially it was going to be counseling, and then I went applied because I was like, nope, I don't think I can handle dealing with people's problems all day, every day. And I wouldn't have been able to then. There's absolutely no way. I'm not altogether sure I'd be great at it now, but thankfully I don't have to, because as you know, hypnosis is a pretty short run, like 1 to 3 sessions for the most part. And people always leave happier than they came in, which is kind of the opposite of what happens in traditional talk therapy.
Oh yeah.
It's upset with me for saying that, but
no, you're not wrong.
For a lot of years, and I think it actually, in some ways, I think it was really good at first. To like validating is really, necessary, and talk therapy can do that. But I think after a while, it made things worse. There'd be days where I'd be actually having a really good day, and then I'd be like, "Oh God, I got to go to counseling. All right, I better think of a problem.
I got to go pick this scab again.
I got to go figure out what's wrong now." And I was like, had I not gone to counseling that day, I would have probably just had a great day,
Yeah.
and it's I'll chalk this up to my blatant lack of clinical psychology knowledge. But I remember going to one counseling session with a guy, and I just sat there and I was like, he's like, Brian, you seem a little just tense and uptight. And I'm just like, what the hell are we doing here? All I'm doing is just like griping about the same crap week after week. We're not doing anything about it. And I'm like, what's our plan here? And he was like, oh, some of it's sort of a desensitization thing. But then I'm like, all right, let's, exactly. And I think with your traditional counselors, the really good ones are needles and haystacks. And when you do find that diamond in the rough, it's amazing. But I do think that a lot of people could benefit more from the hypnosis side of, look, let's get out of this victim mentality. Your counselor should not be your crutch or your full-blown walker in sometimes, or even a wheelchair. It's like, look here, we're going to kind of rehab you and get you back to standing on your own 2 feet.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I do everything I can to teach them how to do this themselves. I don't want them dependent on me. I want them to be able to do this themselves. And Quantum Journeys hypnosis is not a facilitator-led style of hypnosis at all. It's based on asking questions. So it's very client-led. And once the client knows how to get themselves into that space, then, it's still going to be helpful to have a facilitator in order to like just keep you like, if you have certain things that you want to do. But if you're just going into that realm of your multidimensional consciousness to learn more about who you are and what you are and the vastness of all that you are, I want my clients to be able to do that on their own.
So what's the
graduates?
What do you enjoy most about actually teaching? Because I'm assuming that you teach the different types of hypnotherapy and hypnosis for professionals.
Yeah, I don't know. It comes really naturally to me, though. What do I enjoy most about it? I think there's a beautiful exchange, a give and a take energetically that happens, which I don't think is always the case, because I've had teachers where it was just a lot of take. I felt that like energetically, where I'm like feeding their ego, but they're not really giving me much. But I think if you have a really good teacher or like a good stage hypnotist, I think is also going to do the same thing. You get this beautiful exchange of energy where you're both sort of feeding each other. And I really do love that. I love that. I did the whole Quantum Journeys Hypnosis Academy, just me talking to a camera. And that was really hard. Not the whole,
yeah.
there were classes, there were some, but like a lot of it, I had to backfill a bunch, and it was so hard because it's just me talking to a camera. And I'm like, I need some interaction, I should tape up like little faces smiling just so I can.
No, and that's what, I saw Fearlessly Phoenixing, they were saying, oh, ask a couple of questions. Oh, my apologies. I'm like, no, stop apologizing for this. Like the
like
interaction is amazing because we can, you get to be part of of the conversation with us.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. This isn't Hypnosis Hero Jim Kellner's lecture, guest lecturers. It's, hey, let's let people, answer their questions.
Yeah. Well, and I do that with every class and sort of group thing that I have, like some sort of, Lori Hammond, I'm going to plug her from it. She calls it snugging the room. And I love that term. And that's what it is. Like when you just have each person in the room feeling like they're connected to everybody else. I really love that. And I don't want it to be just the Kryssa show when I'm teaching. Like I want there to be not just an energetic exchange, but like an interactive dynamic, with the students. And I guess you'll have to ask Casey and also Jen, because they're both students of mine or graduates. They're in here. Like, am I pulling it off, guys? Am I doing okay with that?
No, I would, Casey, I would love to hear your thoughts on Kryssa's course. Jim, do we have time if people wanted to jump on and join us? And
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry's here too. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Terry. She said my ongoing connection is, that's because I have no social life.
So, hey, yeah, that is an option, Brian. We haven't mentioned that in a while, but, if you're a guest out there, if you're watching right now or any of our shows, we're happy to send you a link and you can jump right on the live with us, ask questions, get hypnotized right there on the screen. If you'd like. So if anybody wants that, just Shawn's going to drop a link or Brian will drop a link where you could tap it and join us right here. Or you can just ask it through the chat as well. Questions.
And Kryssa, you bring up a good point about just, hey, I'm talking to a camera. And I remember my cousin, I was probably middle school age. And he was he worked at a radio station, and every so often they'd let him come on like their morning show or afternoon, whenever they were on. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are just absolutely hilarious. And he says, yeah, it's really weird because if we say something funny, we're not in the break room with the listeners hearing them laugh. He goes, we say something and then it's just us in the studio. So if we're crushing it, we have no idea. If we are bombing and failing miserably, we also don't know.
I used to work in a radio station, and I was the Drive at 5 girl, and I would have little mini panic attacks every day that I had to open the mic to nobody. Every day.
Yeah.
It's tough. I really enjoyed doing the PSAs and the commercials, but like the live stuff, when there's nobody there to interact with, it's very challenging for me anyway. I did it, but it was difficult. Yeah. Because again, I would say something that I think is funny, but I don't know if anybody's laughing. So then I would laugh at myself and just hope they join in,
And then you're like, do I take this and run with it? Or are there just people going, all right, come on, you beat that dead horse.
I think at 5:00 p.m. and they're stuck in rush hour traffic. Mostly they just want to be like entertained. So I would just do whatever I could to like keep the music going, because that's way more interesting than me. And then, just pop in some little things here and there. Contests were always good. But
so you, Kryssa, we're giving you some free publicity here. So reviews are in. Kryssa's ongoing support and connection is phenomenal. That's from Terry. Casey says it's a very good course, super comprehensive, and she way over delivers.
Again, that's because I have no social life. If I ever get a partner, Casey, all bets are off on the over delivery.
Jen Pearson, I love the course. It's so good. I get to be creative with my art of hypnosis. So lots of
I do encourage people to make it their own. You know, I don't want it to be this whole like thing where I own all the intellectual property and you have to do it exactly this way. I want people to bring their own experience, their own wisdom, you know, their own knowledge and skill set to it and make it theirs.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. My heart's all worked up now.
What's the wildest story that you can tell us from like one of your like the most interesting stories you've had from like a past life or a future
Oh yeah. Okay. Here's one. It's actually in the book. It's a teenage girl and I don't do past life regression on minors. Like I don't ever intentionally do that. They need to be fully here in this life, right? I mean, honestly, I think we all do. If you ever go to a past life, it should be to benefit this life, not to stay there. Anyway, she spontaneously went into a past life. And as we were talking,
real quick question. If I'm understanding you correctly, adult woman goes into... Okay. Now I'm following. All right.
Yeah. And she spontaneously went into a past life where she was a 5-year-old little girl.
Okay.
I think it was Oklahoma. And she died from a tornado. And she was stuck outside and the rest of the family got in, but she didn't. And so she didn't make it. And when I asked her the year, it was actually, I think it was like 1 year after the teenage girl was born. So there was an overlap. So I was looking, that's really interesting. So I was kind of asking her highest self about that. Like, how does that work? And basically the answer I got is like, time is not linear anywhere but here. But what it did say was that the social anxiety issues and panic attacks that she was suffering here, this incarnation, have to do with that life. And that's why she spontaneously regressed to that life. And so what we did was discover like everything that was going on. The little girl just kind of got stuck there. She was waiting because she didn't quite realize that she had died. She was 5 and she wanted to be with her mom and her mom was still alive. And so she was just hanging out, haunting, I guess is what you would technically call it, but it wasn't like a bad haunting. But then the rest of the family eventually moved away and the house was just falling apart and she was just sort of stuck there and didn't know where to go and didn't know how to move on. So we were able to help that fragment of her soul reintegrate with the whole of her soul, so that the girl here in this life could overcome the panic disorder that she was experiencing. And it worked. I would have never guessed that could have happened, but it was one of the, so it was this little lost soul fragment of a little girl in the 1980s, the late 1980s in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure it was Oklahoma. It might've been Kansas. That's why I keep looking away. Like, was it Oklahoma? I think it was Oklahoma, but anyway. And then the client in my office was actually born the year before this little girl died, but she vividly remembered her name, the farmhouse, her family, everything. And she looked it up later and we discovered that this family does in fact exist, or did there at the time.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that's one of the crazy, there's been lots, but that's one.
Wow.
There's another one, this man who was very, very rigid and strict in all of his thinking, and it was like destroying his marriage. And so we did look throughout this lifetime to find things, and we found lots, but we also found lots going back to like a Roman soldier lifetime in ancient Rome, and that he's been this way, very regimented and strict and through all of these lifetimes. So that was also pretty interesting. And some archangels came in and talked to us during that session.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Did you ever get scared with all these entities?
There was one time that I did, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it caused me to actually, so my thinking about entities prior to the one that kind of scared me was, well, if I don't really put my belief into them, they can't harm me. I realize now it's not about belief. It's kind of like saying, well, if I don't believe in viruses, they're not going to get me, right?
Oh,
You can't see a virus.
Yeah.
But you can't see a parasite. You can't see bacterial infections, but they can still harm you. So it's kind of the same thing. And honestly, you want to do the same thing in order to prevent them. Like you want physical health in a strong immune system to prevent, physical parasites and infections and things. Well, you need to do the same thing at an energetic and emotional level to prevent infestation of these like energetic parasites and entities. But I did start researching them more, and I found somebody that was able to help me basically evict the ones that I had picked up from the client that scared the bejesus out of me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Captain Shawn has been fishing the depths of TikTok, and one of our viewers asks, do you have a form or a type or even a known hypnotist aside from Jim Kellner that has contributed the most to your development?
Yeah, but you're going to be surprised at who it is because they're not woo at all. There's actually two. One is Mike Mandel and the other one is Jason Linett. And they're both like, they're very clinical. They're not, woo at all, but those two guys. Yeah. And I've picked up stuff from Melissa Tiers, and I've picked up stuff from Marissa Peer, and I've picked up stuff from, I haven't taken any of Dolores Cannon's classes, but I have read some of her books. But yeah, honestly, Mike Mandel is probably the number one. And then I picked up a lot of stuff from Jason Linett too. So yeah, early on, they shaped. Well, and I have a background it's very science oriented. I know. Here's the interesting thing, guys. In the Facebook sphere, there are all these really spiritual groups that kind of judge me for not being woo-woo enough. Then over in the more clinical side, these people assume that I'm way more woo than I am. So I feel like I'm perfectly positioned exactly where I want to be because like nobody likes me in it. No, I'm just kidding. They do. But I mean, like it's pretty, people will project onto me whatever it is that they think without really even, verifying their biases and whatever.
You can throw colored crystals in either direction and get some type of
right. Great.
We're all about frequencies, right? And that's something that now quantum science is starting to come up with. Like, yep, we can verify that everything is in fact about frequencies and energy exchange. So,
got a great comment there from Becca.
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
I'm not much of a believer with past life stuff. I don't get how you can be someone else years ago, LOL. But the story you just shared is strange how that was actually a real family.
Yeah.
And just like that, Becca's not going to be able to go to sleep after this.
It wasn't scary, right? So like the way I look at it, for humans, we have these teeny tiny little like analytical parts of our brains that are trying to label everything and make sense of it. But a lot of the stuff just doesn't fit into those perfect little boxes of linear time and whatever. So the best way that I can sort of make sense of it to myself, and this isn't really a belief, it's more like a hypothesis, right? Mm-hmm. Is that we have a vast consciousness. Whoops, got a microphone stand over here. We've got a vast consciousness, and we send a part of this vast consciousness into a little human meat suit to have a human experience for a lifetime. And all of that experience and everything then gets re-uploaded back into the vast consciousness. And then we go do it again. And we might do it more than once. I had one session with a woman who she discovered she was part of an oversoul that had over 900 different incarnations happening simultaneously, the oversoul. But she wasn't connected. She couldn't see through their eyes or know who they were. She just was able to see that there were like over 900 of them. So I don't know. Again, it could just be a metaphor for the subconscious. Maybe, maybe not. So, yeah.
I like that. I mean, I like that, leaving it open so that it could, like you said, it could be a metaphor for other stuff. Is whatever helps, right?
And if something's in a past life and you release it, it's so far past that it's like in a whole other lifetime. So it's gone, right? So, I mean, symbolically speaking, that could be really, really helpful. So the jury's still out. There's no way to quantify this other than other people's stories, right? So there's like evidence. at the level of just self-reporting. And myself, I've got several past life memories now. And there's one really great thing about that I'm going to share with Becca, just so that, she can see that there's like a beautiful positive thing to this. So how you're supposed to start every day off with gratitude, right? I have past life memories of having like no indoor plumbing. So when I start off with gratitude, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to take a hot shower this morning
Right.
and turn the thing, and there it is.
Yeah.
And I can make coffee right in my kitchen. I don't have to go outside and start a fire, So like having these past life memories, and I mean, historically speaking, human life has been a pretty rough go for thousands of years up until very recently.
Very
and
recently.
I have a lot of memories of those. Yeah. I mean, most of those past lives were very mundane, very challenging, a lot of illness and early death, But I do know that death is not the actual end now. I know that for myself, and I would never seek to impose that on anybody. In fact, every Quantum Journeys hypnosis student has to sign a contract stating that they will not impose their own spiritual or religious beliefs on their clients, no matter what. They'll just ask questions so that the client can come up with whatever they need to come up with. So hopefully that helps Becca to not feel too weird about it.
And I can't remember what it was, and it might have been the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but I'm not positive. But I remember there was some theory that you will have the experience that you believe in. So if you are a Christian and you believe you'll come, go to heaven, you'll go to heaven. If you believe in past life, you'll have a past life experience. So I find that part unusual or interesting as well.
I had a near-death experience when I was 18. That's kind of what I was shown. I didn't really understand it at the time, but I was in a place where it was like this little holding area, and I could see these other like souls leaving the bodies of humans and going into like these almost like holodecks, like on Star Trek.
You're gonna get Shawn excited.
It was like one would go and have their 72 virgins, and then another one would go over here and have their fire and brimstone, and another would go over here and have some beautiful angelic presence, and another one would go over here and meet their whole family and their pet dog. So like whatever it was that they sort of expected seemed to be what was happening. Now, again, it was a near-death experience, so maybe it was just my brain being deprived of oxygen, but that's what was revealed to me.
Did you see Did you see the person who did like something absolutely horrible, and it's like, your in-laws for eternity?
No, but I did get the impression that if you think you were a really bad person, then you will choose to have some sort of punishment set up for yourself in order to feel like you have done the work to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like compensate for it?
Deserve it? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. In order to make yourself
be punished.
Right.
Yeah. Pay your penance
to yourself because of your own belief system. Like you believe that that's supposed to happen, so therefore it will happen.
I kind of like that system where you kind of wherever your belief system is, that's where you end up.
Well, temporarily. So I was shown that like the holodeck thing.
Oh, interesting. Well, temporarily. Okay, and then what happened?
Holodecks are always temporary.
That's honestly what it looked like. And
Nerd.
Because I'm a fan of Star Trek even then, but that's what it looked like. So because I could see like these different, and I was just in this like dark, empty space. Like there was lights all around, but like I was just sort of like floating, hanging out there, and I could see what was happening with all these. And I don't think I was supposed to be there. I don't think I was meant to. It was almost like a shh, don't let anybody know you're here kind of a thing. But I could see that there were people that were sort of graduating their experience, and my understanding of it was kind of like when it was like an accelerated manifestation thing. So like when they realized that their thoughts were what was creating the illusion that they were living in is when they got to graduate out of it. And then there was this like Crystal City place, which I know sounds really cliche because a lot of people talk about that, but that's what I saw is like this beautiful, almost like cathedral type place. And there was a long line of like souls that were waiting to go in, and it was crystalline and beautiful and bright and colorful. But I was watching it from a distance, and all I could see was like the light bodies of the souls that were, or the people that were going to, I don't even know if they were all human, honestly. It was hard. I was at a distance, and they were kind of just vague human forms of light. So anyway, and then it was time for me to come back into my body. I was in the ambulance. My body was in the ambulance. I came back. I was up in the top right-hand corner, and I was like, oh, right, I need to go back. There was like a whole conversation I had with somebody, and they were like, it's time for you to go back now. And I couldn't get back in my body, and I kept dive bombing my body, and like I wasn't sticking, and I kept like bouncing back up and like flying around the ceiling of the ambulance. I know you guys are going to be like, never have Kryssa on again. She's crazy. Anyway, but I did. Somehow I finally stuck. I don't know what I did differently, but I did. And then for like the next 6 months, I kept kind of randomly, accidentally falling out of my body when I was sleeping. And then I would end up in the right-hand upper corner of my bedroom.
Gravity works.
Looking down at my body again. Yeah. I discovered that if I had my hand on another living creature that I wouldn't do that. So that worked well when I had a newborn, but you know, she got older, so I had to start getting cats all the time.
Brian has made a funny joke. Jim will have to atone for his alleged sins by having to eat pineapple on pizza. I guess you and Shawn will be joining me for that. So,
no, my punishment is probably going to have to be much, much worse, depending on who you ask.
Only if you want it to be, Brian.
That's right.
Sure.
Yeah. Might be a good time to switch to Islam.
Whatever holodeck you want, you know?
That's right. See, I can still command my starship.
That's right. Hey, everybody, I want to give you a heads up. Just want to give you a reminder. Kryssa is going to be doing some hypnosis here very shortly, probably in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Before that, we're going to do product spotlight. We're going to talk about some cool stuff, including my take on Kryssa's book. We're also going to do, friend or frenemy. Everyone's waiting for that one. And then we'll get to the hypnosis. Can you give people a preview of what the hypnosis will be like, Kryssa?
Yeah. So a lot of our colleagues tend to look at inductions as just a means to an end and get it done as quickly as possible. And then that like proves that you're a great hypnotist and you can pat yourself on the back because you can do it in 60 seconds or less. And anyway, and I can do that too. That's fine. But I find that inductions are also a really rich opportunity for energy work, teaching the client how to do energy work on their own body. And so I was going to do a quick, less than 5 minute induction into moving energy through your body and grounding, and also bringing in light. You can call it divine light, quantum light, whatever light you want to call it, but you will feel it. And so that's what I was going to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait. Martin has a really good question here. Martin Andrews, he's watching over on YouTube. Thanks for watching, Martin.
Martin is a philosopher in another life.
No kidding. If your post-death experience reflects your expectations, what happens if you are someone who is open to all possibilities?
I don't know, but if I get there before you, I will let you know.
What is the world is your oyster, Martin?
There is a theory in quantum physics that for every action, there's an infinite number of outcomes, and in quantum physics, all of those outcomes happen simultaneously. So if you think for every decision and everything that has ever happened in our history, there are alternative histories going on right now. If you're open to all those possibilities, you could be there for a while before you graduate.
Well, but there's actually no time. So what is a while? And there's also multiple dimensions.
It'll be instantaneous for him, but
yeah,
I'm
looking forward to that. I want to surf the multidimensional multiverse. I'm open to all possibilities. So, Martin, whichever one of us leaves this meat suit first, we can check in with the other and let them know what happens, since we both seem to maybe be wired this way with open to all possibilities. I'll let you know if I get there first.
Is it just me, or does anybody else who's either on the show or watching want Shawn to show his work? Like the calculations and the...
I can dig up the clip if you want. It wasn't me that said it. It was Mr. Data.
Mr. Data. So Scott King says he thinks that Brian's looking forward to his punishment.
Scott, can you imagine teaching 72 virgins how it's done? I mean, exhausting.
Yeah. So
for all eternity.
I wonder if it works the same for women, if they can get 72 virgins.
Wait,
Well, and there's that one comedian, Jeff. What's his name? And he
Jim,
says, the virgins are female.
If women had 72 virgins, it would be over in just over a minute, maybe even under.
That's funny, Kryssa. Yes. Who says that they're women? And I mean, to be fair, if you were gay and you got a bunch of 72 female virgins, it would not be so great for you. So
Yeah, exactly.
The egg theory, that might be what happens if you're open to all possibilities. And thank you for looking forward to the cosmic email. Awesome. So we've got the link down there. Do you want to just give a shout out to your email list and your and what link people can find you at, Kryssa, for those that aren't?
Yeah. If you just go to KryssaMarieBowman.com, that's the easiest way. That will take you to Quantum Journeys Hypnosis. That'll take you to my Global Healing Collective. It'll take you to signing up, opting in for my email list. It will take you to all of my little digital products. There's all, you can, from KryssaMarieBowman.com. There you go.
And it's spelled Kryssa. Kryssa. So it might be a little bit challenging for you guys. We're gonna send everybody away for a product spotlight. Then we're gonna come back for friend or frenemy, and then you are gonna get hypnotized through the screen if you'd like. Shawn, please do your magic. Hold on. All right, everybody. So for product spotlight today, I want to point out something to you that you may or may not have, and that is, hold on, Amazon Prime. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually let mine slide for a while, but this is the holiday season, and what do you know? I re-upped. Now, you may guess why I re-upped. They do offer free shipping on a lot of products. So if you're looking for some products for friends, family, and you'd like to have them shipped, it's a great advantage to have Prime. Plus, you get Prime Video, you get Prime Reading, gaming, music, access to grocery. And look, I don't know, I can never really tell you what the best, an exact discount is, because I don't know when you're going to watch this. If you watch this right now, it's going to be one thing. If you watch it later, it'll be something else. But I just went shopping at Amazon Fresh, no kidding, yesterday, and they had a fantastic deal on ribeyes. I got those. But if you're a Prime member, they were also giving you a generous percentage off if you spent more than $50. And so, the groceries were practically free. That's what I'm trying to say. Not practically free, but it was a really great discount. So there's a lot of advantages. Go check it out. If you don't like it, you can always cancel it. So check out the Prime membership. Now, on the show tonight, on the show tonight, Hypnosis Hero, we had Kryssa. Well, she's still here, but when you watch this, she may not be. So Kryssa Marie Bowman, she's like the author. She's one of the authors of this and kind of the facilitator, kind of put things together for this book, Quantum Journeys. We've just had a fantastic conversation with her, and she shared a lot of great stuff. This is Tales of Multidimensional Healing and Discovery. And it's an anthology, which means there's a lot of authors. So it's co-authored. I don't know if you can see all of those, but it's co-authored by a lot of other folks. And so I think it's something that you definitely want to check out. It's led by Kryssa, and she's got a bunch of contributors who provide a deep dive into case studies and transcripts from Quantum Journeys hypnosis sessions. So through compelling client experiences, the book explores themes like healing trauma, self-empowerment, connecting with higher consciousness. So it's a really great book for, well, I'm going to let, Kryssa may tell us, who she thinks is best for, but I think if you're a hypnotist, you at least want to give it a shot. You want to give it a look just to see what else is out there. And if you're somebody who's maybe on a healing journey, especially if you're kind of in that middle way, between the woo and the scientific, or as I like to call it, the woo-tific, then I think this is a great book for you to read. And we're back. Kryssa, who should read this book besides everyone?
Yeah, well, I think you summed it up pretty well. The people who are in between the woo and the science, but also anybody who is on their own healing journey. I mean, the stories are all over the place. Like everything from just the most mundane, simple daily things, just quitting smoking, turns into something much bigger, deeper when we bring the higher consciousness into the conversation. So it's not just the subconscious. We're also talking to the cells of the body and the higher consciousness, which I believe we are a part of, not the other way around. It's not a part of us. So anybody who's looking to learn more about that, and not from the standpoint, I don't interject my beliefs into this at all. At all. It's just very, just the facts, ma'am. Like, here's what happened in the session. I'm not going to offer any opinion on it. It's just what happened. But I will sometimes offer commentary on, I've seen this other thing happen this way, or somebody else had it happen this way, or I think it could be this thing, or what do you think about that? So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think too, like for somebody like Becca, who's kind of like, well, I don't really believe in that kind of stuff, but if nothing else, there's some really great stories in there, interesting stories to read. So
if you're looking for a spiritual guru, I am not your gal. Okay. So not interested. And I'm not interested in being the kind of person who comes down with any sort of like strong opinions on this, that, or the other, because as soon as I do that, I close myself off to all the other infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Scott, coming from you, that means a lot because you're always coining interesting phrases and terms. So woo-tific, I came up with that a few years ago. I probably didn't invent it, but it came to me a few years ago doing a talk. I kind of walk that line. Sometimes I lean to the woo, sometimes the tific. Like I said, I've done Reiki and things like that. And so, yeah, woo-tific. Which one of you gentlemen would like to do the honors tonight?
Or are we asking the magic question?
The most important question Kryssa has ever been asked in her life. And
yes or no questions. I'm just going to ask.
Boy, you know what? I was thinking when you were talking about being in the middle of being woo-tific, it's the people that don't like you because you're not woo enough, and some that you're not tific enough. I feel like that's how I feel being a moderate politically. Nobody likes you when you're in the middle.
Chances are you're in the majority, though, Jim. You've got far left and like alt right, and everybody else is kind of on this bell curve. They're the smallest group of people, but they're just the loudest.
Now, the Vulcan philosophy: infinite diversity and infinite combination. Idic.
Oh, another nerd. Okay, we can all do it. There we go. That's right. I practiced for years to be able to do that. Brian?
I'm going to pull a hammy or something.
There he goes. Brian's a nerd too. Scott, everybody should be taking their bets, friend or frenemy. And Scott, I got to admit, I'm afraid she is, based on, anyway. One of you guys asked the question.
Scott, I can just see her reading that answer and just getting nervous. And it's
curious. I'm very curious.
Yes or no?
Wait. Should we should probably banter for a little bit and let some people get
let's
some guesses
figure it out. Let some people figure it out. I would love that. I love it when Becca uses the word reckon. When British people use reckon, because I always think of it as Southern people, but apparently the UK likes it as well. Becca says, "I reckon."
I just can't see that. I just can't see that. I can't picture.
And Becca goes and like blows the whole thing.
That's okay.
Becca, don't.
But these are just the bets. We still have to hear from Kryssa.
That's right.
Yes or no, Kryssa?
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
On pizza.
I have no strong opinion on that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wait.
I think if you like pineapple on pizza, have pineapple on pizza. If you don't don't have pineapple on pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, allow me to rephrase. Does Kryssa like pineapple on pizza? Your personal taste?
Yeah.
I've been known to be in the mood for that every once in a while, but it's pretty rare.
Oh.
I'm talking about pineapple on the pizza.
Yeah, like I would say once every 5 years or so, and it has to also have Canadian bacon if I do that. But typically, no. Typically, no.
Typically, no.
Typically, I like more like the margarita pizzas, things like that. More traditional.
Well, margarita pizzas, you have my attention.
Well, I was a chef for a long time. I don't know.
It's not a margarita and pizza, Brian.
Oh, I was like margarita pizza. Okay, I'm listening.
Not that margarita, Brian.
Margarita.
Let's see. Casey says, I do. My typical pie is mushroom, jalapeno, pineapple. Oh,
frenemy.
Sweet.
So would I be a friend or a frenemy then? Since it's like,
You would be a typical friend.
Typical friend, but sometimes, occasional.
Pull you back from the cliff. That's all.
Yeah.
Are you sure, Chris? Are you sure you're not like on a watch list somewhere, like a no-fly or anything like that? I kind of like pineapple on my pizza every now and then.
I have no strong opinions on that, Brian.
God, you would do great in a deposition. You would just.
I was actually reminded again of the value of just kind of trying to have no opinion, just no opinion. But anyway, that's for another day. So Becca says she was, oh my God, I was kind of right. And then Becca says, ooh, mushrooms. I agree, Becca. I agree. So Casey is almost a double frenemy, but I do like jalapenos. Nice. Oh, Ginger the Beagle. We got Mark Barris here. Can I have some pizza, extra Canadian bacon, please? If you're not following, I don't know. Mark, drop the link down for Ginger. She's just an adorable little pup, a little beagle. They're adorable. Also, any of you all that are watching, if you're a hypnotist especially, drop your links down there. We're happy to support you as well. Drop a link. Let people find you. Kryssa, this has been a really awesome conversation, and I'm super looking forward to the hypnosis. And there was actually, and speaking of pineapple, you had a code word for a special, didn't you?
Yes.
Tell us about the special, Kryssa, and how you're going to offend us again.
Well, I thought it might be funny to have the code word pineapple to be able to get 33% off of Quantum Journeys Hypnosis Academy for anybody who's interested in joining and learning this, I think, pretty remarkable modality. That is, it's 140 modules, but each one is like 10 to 20 minutes long.
Wow.
So I have ADHD, so I made it so that people who have ADHD can actually get through this course and stay motivated to get through it the entire time instead of just having something drone on and on and on at you. 33% off Quantum Journeys Hypnosis Academy with the special code word pineapple.
Oh my goodness. Now there are people watching live. That's a significant, let me just say too, that's a significant discount. I hate it when I see something like, 5% off or even 10%. Look, you got to give me 20% before I even take a notice. 33%. That's significant, people. 33%. That's 1/3 off right there. What about folks that what if God forbid 3 years from now they're watching this? Is that code going to still work for them?
Yep, I set it so that it never expires.
Whoa! If you use that code, so it's a lifetime code. Kryssa's lifetime.
My lifetime. Yes. You have to do it while I'm in this incarnation. I can't keep paying the bill for the website after that. So yeah,
Right.
So if that's the FOMO that you need to jump on this now, then do so. Although I am pretty healthy, but you never know.
You never know. So there you go. Code word, that is not the kind of word pineapple is usually referred to. And of course, everyone knows my safe word is bacon. So let's move on. If you know, you know. If you don't need to know. Okay. There was something I was going to do. What was it? Something about pineapple. No? I was looking at my phone for something. Okay. I don't know. Use that code, guys. It's going to be good for at least, I've got to think, several decades. Use the code pineapple. And you don't have to think about it as pineapple on pizza because, pineapple not on pizza is quite delicious. So you could think of it that way if that helps you. Unless Kryssa comes back as a pineapple.
I probably won't have much economic security as a pineapple, though. So again, won't be able to pay the bill for the website.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, you want to hop on it.
Now, if you sell a bunch of pineapple merchandise in modern day times, it could be another story. But
I wonder about that. Setting up a system so that, you have products or something set up, and that payment goes to the PayPal or something, and then your website. So it just kind of creates this loop where it just keeps going and going for, until ChatGPT makes us all the slaves, which probably a couple of years from now, so it doesn't matter.
And it would do so happily. It's very polite about it. It's very polite about it.
Scott's got a tech tip. He says, I always say a lifetime guarantee. Yours, mine, or whichever is shorter.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Well played, Scott.
There it is. All right. So let's I know I was looking for something and I don't know what it was. It must not have been as important as I thought it was. So I guess, Kryssa, if you would be willing to do the honors, we would love for you to do some hypnosis for the fine folks that are watching.
I would love to.
Now, we do need to let you all know that during hypnosis, like what's going to happen right now, this is the time where you need to sit down or lie down. It can be unsafe to be listening to hypnosis or guided meditation, those sort of things, while you are driving, while you're moving around, operating heavy machinery, chopping vegetables, all that kind of stuff. What's that?
Flying a plane?
Flying a plane? Exactly. It's really best experienced while sitting or lying down in a quiet, comfortable place. Pop on some headphones maybe, something like that. That'll help. And I think with that, I think we're ready.
Fantastic. Awesome. So first off, I would like to have a quick chat with the subconscious mind of everybody listening. But I'm going to go via your conscious analytical mind and just say that if anything calls your attention away from the screen, or if you're just listening to it on audio, or anything freezes, or you just need to stop for any reason at all, you will easily emerge from whatever state of awareness you're in, feeling absolutely wonderful, clear-headed, and ready to move on to the next task at hand. So now that we've got that out of the way, go ahead and make yourself nice and comfy. And this is a variation of a guided cleansing and energy clearing method that I facilitate in my weekly Global Healing Collective. It's a distance energy group. And so we're going to do this and combine it with some hypnosis. So I just want you to go ahead and start bringing your awareness to your breath. And not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to take one really big, deep breath. And as you exhale, I want you to sense that there are channels of energy moving through you down into the earth. Moving down your legs, through the soles of your feet, moving down your spine into the earth. Right through the floor, deep into the earth. And as you exhale, go ahead and just release any negative thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Right down through those channels, because this planet is very much like a mother who wants to take our discomfort away and transmute it into pure energy, just like when you were a little child and you fell down and your mother reached out and scooped you up, and suddenly everything was better. So just send all of that down, release your past, release your future expectations, And just for a few minutes, release anything that doesn't feel good. And if you really want to, you can pick all that stuff back up later. Imagine those channels are now growing roots that are going deeper into the earth. This now invites the earth's energy to move up into you, moving up through the soles of your feet, moving up your legs, and just go ahead and let it settle at the base of your spine, right there where your own root chakra is. Now that you're good and grounded, it's time to receive some light. So go ahead and imagine there's just a skylight at the very top of your head, right there at the crown. And keeping your eyes closed now, go ahead and roll them up as if you can see the inside top of your own head. And if you didn't have your eyes closed before, I invite you to close them now. That's right. And we're going to just do one more really big deep breath. This time as you exhale, that is the cue that opens that skylight and brings the sun's light right down into your body, making its way into your head. This light is very high frequency. It would be blinding if you were to look right at it, but luckily all you have to do is sense it as it makes its way down into your heart. And now, because the earth and the sun have loved each other for billions of years, that heart being filled with light is beckoning to the earth energy at the base of your spine and asking it to go ahead and come up and join it. As that earth energy moves up, maybe you can even feel it moving up your abdomen, right into your heart, filling every chamber of your heart. So much so that it becomes one with your vascular system, pumping this incredibly healing, ancient, and infinite grounded light energy throughout your body. Photons of intelligence and energy, moving into every muscle, every tissue, every bone, every cell, right down to the DNA level and beyond. And as it moves through you, releasing, softening, flowing, until the whole of you is filled. So give it a few moments. Really feel it. Reaching to the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes. And it's intelligent, remember, it's sentient. It automatically knows right where it is most needed. Any areas of inflammation or imbalance, of injury, of infection, it automatically goes right there, bringing balance, bringing light. Until there is no more you left to fill. You are filled with light. You are enlightened. You are now illuminated. Perhaps you feel a little tingly in places as if you are slightly levitating, or maybe so relaxed that you just sink way down deep, slipping beneath the surface of your own awareness. And it's at this point that the real magic occurs. On your next big breath, I invite you to allow this energy to burst right out of you as you exhale, moving beyond the outline of you, getting bigger and bigger. Using your breath as a tool, go ahead and play with this energy. Bigger, smaller, denser, more diffuse. Add some colors. Whatever color feels great. More than one if you want. Continue to use your breath as the tool. Go ahead and make it a little bit too big, just so you know where that point is. And then pull it back gently to that point of perfection where it feels just right. And you know what? You won't even have to let me know when that occurs, because your face can't help but register a sense of joy, of peace. And the moment you notice that joy, it becomes bigger. You might think to yourself, I can control this joy. I'm not even going to crack a smile, which of course makes you smile even bigger. And I wonder if you have any idea how incredibly happy you look right now. I wonder if you can get a sense of that. If you could stand outside of yourself and see yourself illuminated by this light that is within you, and you are within it. You created this beautiful healing bubble of light and energy, color swirling all around you, seeing yourself so happy. And I wonder what it might feel like to keep this bubble with you at all times as you gently become more and more aware of your body again. Just breathing in the integration, the activation, the frequency upgrade. On the count of 1, feeling balanced and at peace. Right now, in this moment. On the count of 2, with all this ancient, infinite, cosmic grounded light coursing through you as if you've been touched by some divine, unseen source. On the count of 3, stretching out your arms and legs gently, going ahead, coming back to the surface. On the count of 4, feeling absolutely renewed, rejuvenated, reinvigorated, restored, refreshed, revitalized, recalibrated, and reconnected to source. On the count of 5, open your eyes and be wide awake now.
Yeah, look what you made Jim do.
Did I make you smile?
You
I think you made him drop something.
You did. You made me, and I didn't even realize until you said something, and then I don't know. It was kind of like, it was almost like stage hypnosis. The more you smile, the more you want to smile, or something like, or the more you resist.
Noticing that you're smiling when you didn't know you were smiling makes you smile more. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it. Yes. Jim is smiling. Yes, I was. Kryssa has excellent tonality in her voice. I agree. You know, it's funny. I think I must have zoned out there for a bit because I was gone and then I came back. I don't know. Weird.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you got a chance to be on the receiving side.
It was nice. Hey, everybody, if you're watching right now, if you're watching live, let us know what the experience was like. If you watched later, I always check the comments. I don't always see them, but if I see them, I will respond to them. Let us know what the experience was like for you. We always like to know whether it was positive, negative, neutral, whatever that is. We like it.
And I was picturing us all connected, like a beautiful web everywhere, and thinking about that quote from Schrodinger about the total number of minds in the universe is 1. And just seeing that our consciousness all is a singularity. So hopefully some of you felt that sort of moving through you.
That's great. You know, and if you enjoyed that, bookmark this, save this video, and then come back to it. Come back and watch it again and again, and listen to it more. You know, as we know in hypnosis, you know, the more times you listen, the better it'll work for you. Becca's got some nice things to say. That was nice. Thank you. Made me smile and feel good.
I did sneak something in there that I should probably point out. I did.
I started eating pineapple pizza. There will be hell to pay.
No, I just snuck in that this was going to raise the energetic and emotional frequency of everybody who listens to it.
Oh, nice.
So you might find yourself being a little bit more open to the vast multidimensional consciousness that is you over the course of the next few hours, days, weeks, and months ahead.
Nice.
Yeah.
Martin says he will watch it again. That's great. One more time, Shawn, can you drop the link to the book and the website? So go check out the book again. Even if you're not a believer in this kind of stuff, I always think about too. You know, even if I didn't believe in gravity, it would still happen to me. I'd still fall down. So you don't necessarily have to believe to get something out of it. And the book is full of some really great stories. Kryssa, again, she's offering a great special for the listeners of the show. Use the code, I hate to say it, pineapple to get 33%
That's why
off.
I did it. So you would have to say it.
You will get 33% off, which is a significant amount of money to save. So that's really awesome. Appreciate you doing that for the listeners.
Absolutely. And it's 33% because about 2 years ago, I had an interesting meditation where the consciousness of money came through and talked to me because I was really struggling at the time financially. And it said, you need to have more fun with me. And one of the things that it suggested was to just like play with the numbers, don't just go with what market research says, like it must be $47.90, whatever, just play with them. And I was like, okay, well, I love the number 33. So I'm
Nice.
going to do 33 enough. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
a little whimsy to add into it.
Nice. It's Kryssa Marie Bowman. You can find all of her stuff, KryssaMarieBowman.com. And it is spelled KryssaMarieBowman. Kryssa, what a pleasure it's been having you on the show.
Thank you. It's been such an honor for me too. Thank you. And I have listened to some of yours, but I haven't listened all the way through. Again, ADHD. So I've picked, bits and pieces here and there. I kind of knew the pineapple question was coming.
That's okay. We here on the show don't judge you, even though the listeners do.
Thank you so much. It really was such an honor to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Please join us each week, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Now, Kryssa, are you going to be in Las Vegas in January with us?
I hadn't planned on it.
She's not a stage. She's no interest in stage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
thought that was kind of open to everybody, if I recall last time.
Oh, no, she can be there. I'm just saying she doesn't have any interest in it. So,
it would probably be a good skill to learn. I just, I don't know. I don't travel that much, honestly. I'm kind of a homebody.
What I would say, Kryssa, though, is, if you did the show and it felt uncomfortable, it may just be you need to do it more, which is true.
I loved doing it before.
Oh, okay.
The corporate show that I did. Yeah, no, it was fun. It's just not
a thing.
It's not I don't get fully lit up by it. It was oh, that was fun. But
yeah.
Totally
cool. Of course, we'd love to have everybody there. But it is more suited for people that are into that kind of thing. Well, everybody know next week we have Jody Solberg on the show. She's got some excellent programs. She's got some books too. She's the president of the local NGH here in Seattle, and they're doing a wonderful thing. Do you have anything planned for World Hypnotism Day, Kryssa? We're getting close to it.
I don't. What day is it?
January 4th.
Okay, I will plan something now that you put it in front of me. No, I'm terrible at stuff like that. I'm sorry. Again, neurospicy brain. I'm like, rabbit, what, squirrel? Hello?
No, just curious. Just curious. No judgment. Judgment.
You're among friends, Kryssa.
That's right. Exactly.
January 4th. Good to know.
The reason I do mention is because
my twin's birthday, so I will remember that.
Oh, perfect. So, it's a great reminder for all of us hypnotists to do something for World Hypnotism Day, even if you just kind of mention it on your socials and that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. The whole purpose of of World Hypnotism Day is to get the word out about hypnosis to people that really need the work that we do. So we are looking forward to seeing Jody next week. For myself, for the other heroes, we appreciate you watching, listening. Do all the things, please. Every time I see a share, a like, a comment, makes me feel giddy. So Casey says you'll love it, the Performing Hypnosis Summit.
You'll get to meet Brewster.
If I could teleport there, I would totally do it. It's that I have to go to the airport, and then I have to get on an airplane, and then I have to go to another airport.
Oh, Jim's got to send you his private jet.
I could. I could.
Or I think Shawn might have some sort of little teleporter thing going on in the.
There's some technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next to the time machine, which I would also like to get in on. So, yeah.
And just when I was starting to like Martin, he says he likes pineapple on pizza. Triggered and reported, Martin. So there you go. And Mark, this looks good. Not sure what he's talking about, but all right. Hey, everybody. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.
Stay free, everybody.